Hi, welcome back once again to CBSE Board Economics. I'm Saddam Hussain. In the Law of Demand chapter, today we are discussing the lost concept or the lost topic, of course, which is very important. It covers up the entire chapter as well as the law of diminishing marginal utility, the utility chapter preceding to the law of demand chapter. Now today we're discussing, in this chapter earlier we have seen what exactly is demand, what exactly is market demand, what factors influence demand for a commodity, determinants of demand. We have seen the demand curve sloping downwards. We have seen extension and contraction in demand, increase and decrease in demand. We have seen the differentiation between movements along the demand curve and shifts in demand curve. To conclude the chapter, we have one topic which covers up all the topics in this chapter. Now, this topic is, why does the demand curve slopes downwards? Or why do consumers buy more quantity when the price is less? Or why do they buy less quantity when the price is less? Why do buy less quantity when the price is high, more quantity when the price? Why? There is an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. We have seen earlier, law of demand. What does the law of demand states? Law of demand states the inverse or opposite relationship between price and quantity demanded. That is, when the price of a commodity comes down, the quantity will go up. When the price goes up, the quantity demand will come down. You can see this graph, we learned it earlier. Look at this graph carefully. The demand curve is sloping downwards. You can see it here. DD is the demand curve sloping downwards. When the price is OP, the quantity demanded is OK. You are at this point A. This is basic law of demand. The price has gone up from OP to OP1. The quantity has come down from Q to Q1. We moved A to B along the demand curve. The price has come down from OP to OP2. The quantity has gone up from OQ to OQ2. So this is the law of demand. It merely shows the inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. Today, we are discussing about why does it happen? Why do consumers buy more quantity when the price is less? When the price falls, they buy more. Why does the law of demand applies? Or why is the demand curve sloping downwards? Why do consumers buy more quantity when the price is less? Let's see now. What are the reasons behind it? Why do you buy more when the price is less? The first point here, for the demand curves to slope downwards or the consumers to buy more quantity when the price is less, is law of diminishing marginal utility. Law of diminishing marginal utility. You remember we discussed this chapter in the utility analysis. This concept was given by an eminent economist, Professor Alfred Marshall. What did he say? What was law of diminishing marginal utility? Law of diminishing marginal utility states, as the consumer goes on consuming more and more units of a commodity, the marginal utility or the utility the consumer derives from successive units keep on diminishing. It comes down. Probably the first unit gave you 10 units of satisfaction. The second unit gave you 8. The third will give you maybe 4, and the last maybe fifth unit gives you 1. It keeps on falling down. That is the famous law of diminishing marginal utility. As the consumer goes on consuming more and more units of a commodity, his satisfaction from successive units keeps on declining. So from this law applies here. So when you're paying a price for the first unit, maybe 10 rupees, you are getting satisfaction worth 10. The price remains the same. When you pay again 10 rupees for the second unit of the commodity, but mind it, your satisfaction has come down from 10 to maybe 6. So that means the marginal utility you are deriving from that commodity is much less than the price you are paying. Why should you buy it? So that's why the consumer will not buy it. But if the shopkeeper is willing to give it for 6 rupees, he won't buy. Again, he is at equilibrium. Px is equal to mux. So law of demand depends upon law of diminishing marginal utility. Since the law of diminishing marginal utility states as the consumer consumes more units, its satisfaction falls down. Hence, the consumer is not willing to pay the same price for successive units. If he's getting at a lesser price, he won't mind buying it because he's always equating. The utility is deriving from the commodity with the price of the commodity. That means every point on the demand curve shows the consumer's equilibrium. At this point, Px is equal to mux in terms of money. At this point, the price has come down, so the quantity has gone up. The price has further come down. Any point on the demand curve is the consumer's equilibrium point where Px is equal to mux in terms of money. That means the price is paying for the commodity is equal to the utility is deriving from that. Okay, this is the first one. You should always equate the price you are paying with the utility you are deriving. The second point we are discussing, why does the demand curve slopes downwards, is income effect. What exactly is income effect? When the price of a commodity comes down, the purchasing power of the consumer, or in economics we call it as real income of the consumer, will go up. Hence, he will be in a position to buy more units of the commodity. So we'll explain it with the help of example. Suppose you are buying a shirt for 1000 rupees. Now the shopkeeper is giving you 50% discount. Now the price of shirt has come down to 500. So with the same amount of money, 1000 rupees, you will be in a position to buy 2 shirts. So the quantity demanded has gone up with the fall in price, because your real income or your purchasing power has gone up. Hence, when the price comes down, the consumer is buying more quantity because of increase in real income or purchasing power. That's the second point. Or the other way around you take it, if the price of the commodity goes up, the consumer will buy less of the commodity because his purchasing power comes down. The third point, you have law of diminishing marginal utility, income effect. Third point is substitution effect. What exactly is substitution effect? Substitute goods, we know it. Tea and coffee, ink pen and gel pen or ball pen. These are substitutes. Substitute goods, we learned it. What's the definition of substitute goods? Substitute goods are those which can be used in place of each other with equal ease without reduction in your satisfaction. For example, tea and coffee, they are substitutes. Gel pen and ball pen, they are substitutes. In case of substitute, they almost have the same price. Let's take one example here. The price of tea is 20 bucks and the price of coffee is 20 bucks. Suppose the price of tea suddenly has gone up from 20 rupees to 100 rupees. Why should you have tea? You can migrate to coffee, you can shift to coffee, so the demand for coffee will go up. That is substitution effect. So when the price of a commodity comes down, it looks cheaper compared to its substitutes. So tea is 20, coffee is 20. Suppose the price of tea has come down to 5 rupees, people will have tea instead of coffee, so the demand for tea will go up. So substitution effect. So that's why the demand will go up when the price comes down. And the next one, you have number of consumers. When the price of a commodity comes down, the old consumers will be in a position to buy more of it. Even the new consumers are attracted towards it, its demand will go up. So when the price normally, very few people are purchasing iPhone because that's pretty expensive. When the price of it comes down, even the people who normally buy Samsung mobile phone, they will also be attracted towards its demand will come up or go up when new consumers are attracted. And the last point, you have different uses of a commodity. When the price of a commodity comes down, it will be put to many uses. So normally we buy milk for preparing tea and coffee at home. If the price of price of milk comes down, so obviously people start preparing milk or preparing tea, coffee. Apart from that, they'll be preparing sweet dishes. They'll be preparing many other things. Same if the electricity price comes down, so of course people start using it for vehicles, also electric vehicles, domestic use. They can use it for air conditioning, for heating. A lot of many purposes, cooking and all, they can use it. So instead of using only for domestic use. Okay, that is different use of a commodity. When the price comes down, so people start using it for many uses, hence its demand will go up. So to put it in simple words, again I repeat, now we're discussing here in brief, why does the demand curve slope downwards? Why there is an inverse relation price and quantity demanded? Why do consumers buy more quantity when the price is less? So the simple reason, this is called, what is the reason behind operation of the law of demand? Law of demand states inverse relation price and quantity demanded. That is, when the price comes down, the demand will go up. There are 5 reasons behind it. Number 1, law of diminishing marginality. Law of diminishing marginality states as the consumer goes on consuming more and more units of a commodity's marginality comes down, hence he's not willing to pay the same price, but if he's getting at lesser price, he won't mind buying it more. That's law of demand. So any point on the demand curve shows the equilibrium of the consumer, Px is equal to Mux. The second point, income effect. When the price of a commodity comes down, the purchasing power or real income of the consumer goes up. Hence, he will be in a position to buy more. Instead of buying 1, now you will be in a position to buy 2 with the same amount of money. The third point is substitution effect. When the price of a commodity comes down, it looks cheaper compared to its substitutes. Hence, people start buying more of it. And the next one, number of consumers. When the price of a commodity comes down, the people normally buy that commodity, will start buying more of it. Even the new consumers are also attracted. So recently what happened, the prices of electronic items have come down, air conditioners have come down, mobile phones have come down, TVs have come down. So what happened to the demand for them? The rich consumers are buying more, even the new consumers are also attracted. The last one you have is different uses of a commodity. If a commodity can be put to many uses, so obviously its demand goes up with the fall in price. Now look at this board carefully. Why does the demand curve slope downwards, or why do consumers buy more at lesser price? The demand curve slopes downwards because it shows the inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. Consumers buy more quantity because of the following reasons. Number 1, law of diminishing marginal utility. According to this law, as the consumer consumes more and more units of a commodity, every additional unit gives him declining utility. Hence, the consumer will buy more quantity if the price falls. Every point on the demand curve shows the consumer's equilibrium where Px is equal to Mux. Number 2, income effect. When the price of the commodity goes down, consumers' real income or purchasing power goes up. As a result, the consumer will be in a position to buy more quantity with the same income. This is called income effect. Hence, the demand curve slopes downwards. Substitution effect, third point. When the price of a commodity falls, it looks cheaper compared to its substitutes. Hence, people prefer to buy more quantity of it and its demand curve falls down. And the fourth point, number of consumers. When the price of a commodity falls, old consumers would be in a position to buy more quantity and new consumers are also attracted, leading to increase in demand. And the last and the fifth point, different uses of commodity. When the price of a commodity falls, people put it to different uses, leading to increase in its quantity demanded. For example, if the price of milk falls, it would be used to prepare tea, coffee, butter, cheese, sweets, and a lot more products at home itself. Hence, its demand will go up. That's all we have in this video. This is an important question. Please follow, and this question covers almost the entire chapter. So that's all we have time for this. All the best for your exams. Copy the notes in your notebooks and learn. Thank you guys for watching. Till we meet next time. Do subscribe, share, like, comment, and don't forget to press the bell icon so that you receive future notifications and videos which are quite informative. They not only help you for the present exam, they're going to help you for your competitive exams and your future exams. Thank you. See you guys.